Yeah, it's kind of overcast outside. This might just
It's a
be...
bit overcast.
Oh, that's better.
No, it lit up.
That's better.
We're lit. We're live.
It's lit.
Is there a way you can raise your chair? I've noticed that.
No.
Yeah, there
Remember
is.
we tried.
No, stand up. Gotta be later. Nope.
No. Yeah, I thought you tried this already. I need a booster seat.
I know. Okay, here. I'll just
yeah, there we go. We're on the same level.
We'll just come down to your level then.
Yeah. Don't you always have to?
Well, this is also as low as it'll go. So
that's fine.
All right, that's
closer.
It's close. We're good. All right, let's plus size this so I can actually read it.
Plus size it. All
right, and we're live. We're here. People know we're live now. Whoever's subscribed to us. It says 1.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. All right, ready?
It says 1 minute. All right, ready.
So it gets up. All right. 5, 4, 3. Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Media Boat Podcast. Hi, everybody. Today is October the 30th. Ooh, spooky. Of 2021. This is episode 303 or 303 for those who celebrate. If you don't know what the Media Boat Podcast is, we are a podcast that's dedicated to bringing you news and thoughts about media, including movies, television, video games, and music, but not necessarily in that order. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. It's not technically a Halloween episode, but we are not dressing up yet.
Yeah.
So
no. So no costumes for the live version on YouTube. So sorry to disappoint. But we do have a wonderful podcast full of stuff for you. So let's get right to it because might be on the shorter side this week. Not a whole lot of news going on. So let's pull up these news here and let's start with movies as we always do and start movies with the box office numbers as we always do as well. Number 1 this week, of course, was Dune with a $41 million debut. I don't think we did a prediction for this.
No, but that $41 million is the most for an HBO Max same day
co-release. Well, that's good. So Dune made some money despite being on streaming services.
It did average about 2. I think it topped out at 2 million viewers over the course of the weekend.
Okay.
From streaming only. So we got those numbers. But we'll talk about what Warner wants to do for next year in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get there. But first, here's the rest of your top 5. Number 2, Halloween Kills with another $14.5 million. That's at $73 million domestic so far.
Almost killing it at the box office.
Not bad. Killing it. I see what you did there. Number 3, No Time to Die made another $12.2 million. Respectable 120 domestic so far. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is your number 4. 9.3 million, adding to its 182 million total. 5, Ron's Gone Wrong with another 7.3 million debut. That is a bomb and it will not recoup its costs.
So should that be Ron's Gone Bomb?
I believe that I saw someone make that exact joke.
Ah, dang it.
So well done.
Well done.
So yeah, no, I don't think anybody knew this existed. I think the only place this was advertised was if you're watching children's programming on Disney Channel.
Which, of course, I do.
Which I do on Saturday morning, so I did. This was nowhere. No one knew that this movie existed.
If you went to the movie theater to watch Shang-Chi,
yeah,
this trailer did play before it. And that might have been your only exposure to this film.
Yeah, so they kind of botched the marketing. I think that really hurt its performance. I think that a family movie right now should do better than this, but it didn't.
Well, it is a family robot movie, which we'll talk about a different family robot movie in a bit here.
We'll get there. First up, though, upcoming releases this weekend. Just a couple of Halloween-y movies for you. And they're not Halloween movies, really, surprisingly enough.
No, but they're by 2 great directors.
Yes. First up, Last Night in Soho, which is the new Edgar Wright film.
Yes, it is.
It gets its wide release this week. I believe it had limited previous weekends. So yeah, if you want to see the new Edgar Wright, only available in theaters. It's only theaters right now. So that's out. And then what is Antlers, our second release?
Horror film by
so one
I
is
think
Halloween.
It's producer. I think it's produced by Guillermo del Toro and not directed by him.
Okay.
So
let me guess, somebody grows grotesque antlers out of their head.
Oh, how did you know?
I mean, you name a horror movie Antlers, and there's kind of only one thing that can happen. It's kind of like that movie Teeth. It's like, you know where those teeth are. You just know. It's not where teeth go, usually.
Yeah, I mean, and when you don't go to a dentist in the whole film, you know where the teeth are.
All right. Those are your new releases. Let's move into movie news. First story, as you mentioned, as you alluded to, is about Warner Brothers and their plans for the next year. As the studio greenlights a Dune sequel, Dune Part 2, which is confirmed for a 2023 release.
Which they did after Dune came out in order to kind of hide that marketing, that it's a part 1 and not a two-parter.
Yeah. But from what I've understood, it does tell the story of half the first book.
Correct.
So it was assumed that there would be a second film.
Well, yeah, you had to get through the end of the first one. It's not like you going into it knowing there's going to be a sequel.
Right, yeah.
Like an Avengers style where you know there's going to be a sequel.
Like we talked about last week. It's like they're building this to be a franchise if they can make it. But yeah, CEO Ann Sarnoff says there will be no more day-and-date releases on HBO Max.
And I cry in my corner.
Sorry, guys. And confirmed that it will keep the 45-day theatrical window for all its upcoming titles. Quote, and the ones we are putting in theaters are the ones we think will work. It's not just about budget size. It's also about genre and the behavioral patterns of people, Sarnoff says. I would love to put dramas and comedies on the biggest screen possible. It's just right now they're opening. Honestly, they weren't opening. Oh, doing well, I guess is what she means. It's freaking Hollywood speak.
Hollywood speak.
Honestly, they weren't opening pre-COVID either. So basically, she's saying even before the pandemic, they weren't having the performance that they wanted in the ways that they wanted. So they're going to be more strategic going forward with their theatrical releases. So gone. This is end quote. She's done talking for now. Gone from next year's calendar are small and mid-range films for Warner Brothers. Instead, it's tentpole movies all the way down, baby. Beginning with Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. Wow.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson, if you wish, which comes out on March 4th. 3 other live-action DC superhero films will follow, including Black Adam on July 29th.
With Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yep. The Flash on November 4th.
Which may or may not fix the DC universe.
Maybe. And Aquaman 2 on December 16th.
With favorite Jason Mimosas.
This is Jason Mimosas. Delicious. He's bottomless from what I understand.
Yes, he is. Especially in Aquaman.
Other 2022 event films from Warner's include Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, which is out on April 15th.
Third film in that franchise.
Baz Luhrmann's musical biographical drama Elvis on June 3rd.
Thank you very much.
And Salem's Lot on September 9th. And boom.
Based on the Stephen King. Basically, known properties.
Yes.
Known IPs.
And this is where our old Media Boat slogan, it's a business, comes into mind. And I say that because this is super depressing if you like movies. Because looking at this, it's like, okay, so it's just franchise films and adaptations down all the way down. This sucks because where's the original content? Where's the original comedies? Where's the original dramas? Where's the art house stuff? Warner is bailing on stuff that I think the people who love good movies want to see the most. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, but this is what COVID was gonna do. And it was already a pattern that was showing pre-COVID. And it's just going to get worse from here on out.
This may also be, I mean, aside from the debacle that was Tenet, the reason why Christopher Nolan left Warner Brothers.
Maybe why.
Because he was not going to direct a tentpole film.
They weren't going to let him. They weren't going to let him. They were probably going to be like, we'll work with you, but it's HBO Max for you, buddy. And he was like, no, I like big screens. You know that about me.
Yeah, he cannot lie about that.
I'm going to take my IMAX cameras and leave.
I go across the lot to Universal.
To Universal, where they actually like this stuff. I'm going to go over there. yeah, this is going to kick out a lot of potential talent. It's going to make a lot of directors unhappy because they're basically drawing a line in the sand and being like, this is the movies that matter. These are the movies that we don't like anymore.
Well, it's not so much a line in the sand, but rather a tent pole in their column.
Yeah, like giant tent that they've set up, barring everybody from entry. Yeah, it's disappointing. It sucks. And I hope that I hope these movies do terribly. And so Warner just throws up their hands at the end of 2022 and is like, we don't know what works anymore. We give up.
Yes. Lest we look at the blueprint that Warner Brothers is using, which was Disney's from like 2 years ago, where all they did was franchise known quantity films.
Yes, but that pisses me off about Disney too. It's not like I'm like being like.
Oh no, we're not giving Disney a pass here. We're just saying it's exactly what they're copying.
They are looking at Disney and being like, we want to do that.
Yeah,
that's what's happening here, and it sucks. But yeah, we'll leave it there for now. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and I hope this doesn't catch on for all the studios.
This means that we need to support more independent production studios like Annapurna, like A24.
Yeah.
A couple of our favorite Screen Gems.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, it's not a good outlook for 2022 with Warner. And damn it, we can't watch movies in your robes anymore.
This does mean that the last film we are going to get will be the Christmas Day release of Matrix 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That will be the last HBO film, or last
HBO Max
Warner Brothers film coming to HBO Max.
What about West Side Story? Is that them?
That's next. That's this year. That's this year. Yeah, that's.
November. Is that Universal?
I think that's Universal.
I thought it was Warner for some reason, but maybe
it's Steven Spielberg, so it's probably Universal.
It seems to be where he usually does his work. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's another big thing that's coming out by the end of the year. So. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're probably right. The last thing will be Matrix. All right, let's move on to our second story here. Well, some bits. We wrapped up some bits for you about animated movies in the future. That's exciting. Yep. First up, for all of you who listened to our podcast earlier in the year, we raved about Netflix's The Mitchells versus the Machines. Well, we got news for you. If you haven't seen it yet, you can see it on the big screen this November, thanks to Sony releasing it theatrically. Starting November 20th, you'll be able to go to a theater and see it.
Yep, or you can pay the $13 a month to watch it on Netflix.
That's a recommend for me if you have not seen it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Go see that.
Yep, may appear at the end of the year lists.
Oh, it definitely will on mine.
Well, you have limited release, limited catalog there
of movies. It's getting larger. Next up, the South Park movie, another South Park movie, I should say, is slated for a November 25th release. ... on Paramount Plus. So if you want to see,
this was part of the deal that South Park made for the $1 billion deal, that their next several films will be Paramount Plus exclusives.
Yes.
This one will be South Park post-COVID. I think that's the title they're currently running with.
Okay.
And yeah, Paramount Plus exclusive only. It actually may be the thing that gets people to sign up for Paramount Plus.
Maybe. I don't know. But if you're a South Park fan, that's exciting to look forward to that on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Next up, new Paramount CEO has confirmed a Star Trek animated film is in the works. This goes hand in hand with the animated efforts they've already made with the Star Trek franchise. Yep. First with the
Below Decks,
and then most recently with not Prodigy. It's something with a P.
No, it's Prodigy.
Is it Prodigy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Star Trek Prodigy,
which is the CG one.
Yes.
So yeah, it makes sense. They already have kind of like laid the foundation for it. So yeah, animated Star Trek film will totally work.
Yep. Which, I mean, they are boldly going where they've already been here with animated Star Trek.
Exactly. And then next, animated documentary Flea from Jonas Poer Rasmussen has won the Grand Jury Prize at the fourth Animation is Film Festival. I guess the festival is named the fourth. Wait, the Animation is Film Festival.
Yes, the fourth annual Animation is Film Festival.
When you don't italicize, I don't know what the titles of things are. So yeah, congratulations to him.
Yep, congratulations. This is based off his life of an immigrant from Afghanistan to the U.S. So look forward to it come Oscar season.
Cool. Will do. And then lastly, the big animation trailer this week was, of course, the first official trailer for Lightyear from Pixar, which, as we need to always remind you, it's not based on the toy. It's based on the astronaut that the toy was based on.
Yes. I've seen no less than 5 or 6 different videos trying to fit Lightyear into the Pixar universe without pointing out that this is the film that created the toy Buzz Lightyear.
But the joke is that who's the voice?
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans. Chris Evans tweeted after they announced it. Yeah. That tweet is just one of the funniest tweets still. It's like, it's not based on the toy. It's based on the real person the toy is based on. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It looked fine. I mean, I don't care. It's hard for me to care.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the backdoor shoe-in offshoot of the Toy Story franchise, seeing as they separated them at the end of Toy Story 4.
It's so unnecessary. Who cares? I think it's more fun to just know that there's a universe with backstory. Also, there is already a backstory that exists. It's in that animated Buzz Lightyear show that they still won't put on Disney Plus. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that it doesn't make any sense why this exists, but hey, maybe somebody will like it. It's like, do we really need to CG the right stuff?
Right.
Like, no, but we're getting it.
Hey, we're getting it.
Anyways. All right, that's it for the animation bits. Did we watch any movies this week? No, I don't think so.
Did I?
I have not watched Dune yet. I'm going to probably do that tonight, so that is still on my to-do list. As for other movies, yeah, I can't think of anything.
No, there is a documentary on the January 6th riots on HBO Max.
Yes.
I did watch. Mm-hmm. It didn't provide anything I didn't already know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does do interviews from like people who are actually there, actual like Trump supporters, QAnon people, Proud Boys. So you get kind of their perspective of how they thought was going on.
Yeah.
But I saw what was going on live. We all saw it. It doesn't change my mind about anything. So
okay, so it doesn't do much in terms of actually like saying anything about it.
It doesn't say anything new.
Yeah. Okay.
So
maybe
it exists.
Yeah, it exists
as like a historical document. I guess.
Sure, yeah.
But outside of that, it's really unnecessary, especially so soon. Yeah. Not that like I'm eagerly waiting for it.
But if you're looking for something that's truly scary on Halloween tomorrow, it's the scariest thing I can think of. Let's move on.
No, the scariest thing is signing up for Peacock to watch Halloween Kills.
True. All right, let's move on out of thoughts then and into television. We always start television with the Sports Corner. That one right there. First up in sports, of course, it's World Series time, everybody. And it's the Astros and the Braves, as we imagined it would be.
As of this recording, the Braves are up 2-1.
Yes.
Which does mean that they split a series, and it does mean we will get Game 5.
Yes, at least.
At least on Halloween Day.
Yeah, it's just...
Halloween night.
It's been really entertaining baseball. All 3 games have been really good. Yesterday's especially started super strong. Mm-hmm. Four hitless innings for Atlanta there,
and then they took them out.
And then just immediately fell apart. But you know what? They still ended up winning, so congratulations to them. Houston's trying, but the bats aren't there. People are getting hit by pitches left and right. So we'll see.
Needless to say, we are not pro Braves, but anti-Stros.
Yeah, we just, again, it's one of those situations where I wish they both could lose, but I can't. And it just annoys me.
That's not how that happens.
It annoys me when these, especially last night, now that they're in Atlanta, it's just, I really don't want to hear the frickin' chop. I just don't want to hear it. I want to pretend it doesn't exist. One of my favorite tweets this year about baseball has been, somebody was like, we should just replace the stupid thing that they sing during the chop and just play Sandstorm and have everybody try to sing the tune to Sandstorm. That would be better, right? It's similar.
It'd be better.
Similar and better. Anyway, so yeah, that's the only thing that sucks about this is you have Atlanta fans. But other than that, it's been fun baseball to watch.
Yeah, Atlanta does play in an open door stadium, so last night's rainfall was a welcome surprise.
Oh yeah, that kind of threw everybody off a little bit, I think.
Yep. Also started the debate of, can a World Series game get rained out?
I mean, it didn't, but
no, the answer is no, by the way.
It turns out no. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of that series goes. Maybe, like we said before, maybe by next week we'll be able to crown a victor.
Oh no, we will.
We will,
sure. Yeah,
for sure.
Because Game 5's on Sunday.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So by the time Game 7 happens, we will by next week have a champion.
So okay, so we'll have a winner next week, but you'll already know who it is. Next up in sports, and meanwhile in the NFL, Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown pass,
and by comparison,
Matt Stafford threw his 300th. So there you go. So he's halfway there to Tom Brady. Good job. Good job.
Yay.
Living on a prayer. Halfway there.
Halfway there. Yeah, congratulations, Tom Brady. He threw the touchdown pass to Mike Evans, who immediately gave the ball away to a fan.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize that was a 600th ball.
Yes.
So some negotiations went on with said fan.
Yeah.
He ended up getting 2 signed jerseys and helmets from Tom Brady.
Hey, cool.
Also, he got a $1,000 gift card to the Tampa Bay store.
Gift card, right? Stores.
Yeah, store, a pro store. And season tickets for the remaining of this year and next year as well.
Holy shit, that's an amazing package.
Yeah, but you realize that total package is about $5,000 compared to the touchdown ball, which is about $500,000.
Oh, good point. Good point. Good point.
And yeah, that ball's going straight to Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, for sure. I bet it will. And then also in football news, it's time for our newest favorite recurring section in the Sports Corner.
Well, no, we can end it now.
Yeah, which can end now. This will be the last edition of it, which is
Undefeated
Watch.
Undefeated Watch.
Well, Undefeated Watch is over because the Arizona Cardinals lost.
Last week, the Cardinals won.
Right.
But this week, the Cardinals lost. And I'm not predicting them to lose.
They already played.
They played on Thursday. Against Green Bay.
And lost, which, as you put here, the 72 Dolphins popped some champagne that night.
Yeah, they did.
They still
are the only undefeated team. Yep. To win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Sure. Lest we forget the
I know.
The Patriots and the Giants.
Yes. So yeah, sucks for Arizona, but whatever. The season will go on.
Now the season can continue without some record hanging over it.
Yeah.
Unless you're Detroit Lions, who are still in search of their first win.
Yeah.
That's which they're going to get this week. They're going to get it this weekend. I have a feeling they're going to get it. They've been close. They've been good games.
We'll see. All right, let's move on. Anything else in sports you want to talk about?
No, it's actually been a light sports week, especially as baseball kind of takes over everything and wraps everything up.
Yeah, no big news have come out of the hockey or the basketball seasons quite yet, so we're just kind of waiting.
Players are getting injured. There is one big story in hockey that I don't have on here because it's an investigation that happened over the course of 3 or 4 years.
Wait till it gets resolved.
Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The one from the Blackhawks.
We might want to wait on that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait on that because information is slowly trickling out, especially as the Blackhawks organization and members from the team talk about it.
Yeah, but I have seen headlines about this, so yes.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about it next week. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Depending on how things happen.
Depending on how things happen and if consequences come. Because right now it's just, here's the story.
Yeah.
Now it's a wait and see. Also a wait and see. IATSE. We're still waiting on that.
You're wondering why we didn't cover that this week. Yeah. That's why. But what we will do is we'll move on here and talk about what we do have in television news this week. First up, hey, remember Be Positive?
Yeah. I said I didn't really like that show because it would end after one season.
Well, it's not ending, but something is happening to it. Be Positive is going into a whole new direction, complete with a revamped opening title sequence that puts Annalee Ashford's Gina Dabrowski front and center. Season 2's 3rd episode, the official start to what executive producer Chuck Lorre refers to as Chapter 2 of the CBS comedy, revolves around Gina's first day as the new owner of the Valley Hills retirement home.
Note, it's not Hill Valley.
Valley Hills.
Yes.
Different. Quote, "We're really turning this ship around. Or, as I like to say, fixing a helicopter while it's flying," Lori says of the series' soft reboot in a title card at the end of the series, because that's what he always does now. Yeah. It's going to require more than 3 episodes to really dig into all of these relationships and characters. With the invention of an entire new ensemble surrounding Annalie's character in the assisted living facility, that had to be the focus of episode 3 in the next several episodes to give the audience a chance to meet and hopefully care for these people. I'm a big believer that if you don't care for characters in a comedy, it's not funny. I mean,
which is funny because that's kind of what the pilot of Be Positive was. You try to make you care for the characters, which I didn't.
Right.
This also means that it puts Thomas Middleditch's character really to the sideline and possibly off the series in a season, in a couple episodes.
And so this is not super out of the ordinary. This retooled sitcoms have happened and exist throughout the history of television sitcoms. But what is notable about this is after 1 season, they're already going in there with the tools to fix it. It's fast. It's a fast turnaround.
Also, it's notable that it's changing leads too.
Yes.
From also Thomas Middleditch to Annalie Ashford.
So yeah, I mean, I guess what this gives an opportunity for people to do, people like you, for instance, people who tried it, didn't care for it, gives it a new start, maybe a new vibe, and maybe it gives you a chance to check it out again, see if it's changed.
I actually might go back and start from season 2.
Okay, well, so
because I didn't like that premise from season 1.
Yeah, you have to check it out and let us know if it's any better. But in the meantime, we'll just have to wait for it.
Also on my to watch list, I think it's also from Chuck Lorre, the show Ghost, also on CBS.
Yes.
I've been hearing some good buzz about it, or reading some good buzz. So it was on my watch list after the, not Super Bowl, what was the last thing they had? I don't know, a promo. Grammys.
The
Emmys?
Grammys, no, because CBS didn't have the Emmys.
CMAs?
Okay.
I don't know. Something I watched on CBS.
Something
that said, hey, this thing is coming.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that seems interesting. I might check that out. And then I completely forgot about it. But apparently other people haven't. So, yeah, I may check that out.
We'll see. All right. Let's move on to our second story here.
Also in TV development.
Yes. Hey, remember National Treasure?
Yes, the map on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
He had to steal the Declaration.
Because he's going to have sex with the Declaration of Independence.
So, hey, we haven't seen that franchise in a while. What's happened to it?
There's supposed to be a third one coming up.
Well, what is happening, though? Emerging young actress Lizette Alexis, previously in Total Eclipse, has landed the lead in Disney Plus's National Treasure TV series.
Bum, bum, bum.
The project, executive produced by the film's producer Jerry Bruckheimer, yes, that Jerry Bruckheimer, director John Turteltaub, and writers Marianne and Cormac Wibberley, is an expansion of the National Treasure movie franchise, told from the point of view of a young heroine, Alexis, a dreamer in search of answers about her family, who embarks on the adventure of a lifetime to uncover the truth about the past and save a lost Pan-American treasure. Over the course of the show, Jess will uncover her own buried history, as well as the truth about her parents and her connection to a long-lost treasure. Wait, I just read that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just repeated myself. Just went around in a circle.
It did.
God damn it. The show will follow the footsteps of other Disney movies turned series like Turner and Hooch and The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I think it's because they both of the sentences started with the show, and so Anyways,
National Treasure, the TV series.
Hey,
Disney Plus.
Not a bad idea.
I did enjoy Turner and Hooch, and I did enjoy Mighty Ducks, the Game Changers. So maybe another thing I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah,
they've been doing pretty good with these films turned adaptations.
Yeah, so far. I'll have to tell Christy she loved National Treasure, so that'll be neat when that comes out.
Yep. They are kind of passing the torch down.
Yeah, don't toss the torch. You're gonna burn something down if you do.
Well, because I was trying to make like a Statue of Liberty torch joke there, but it kind of like got jumbled in my head. I was like, I'll just scrap it.
It's okay. So Yeah, neat idea.
Yeah, so look forward to that. I assume summer of next year.
All right, let's move into thoughts. You have a couple of thoughts, some
Yes,
Netflix thoughts.
Yes, both of these are on Netflix.
All right, what have you been checking out on the old flicks?
So, if you are in a Halloween mood and you're a WWE fan,
okay,
especially that of The Undertaker,
ooh,
fan favorite, The Undertaker,
yes.
do I have a show? No, an experience for you called Escape the Undertaker.
Okay.
Where Kofi Kingston,
yes,
Big E,
yes,
and Xavier Woods,
who I believe are collectively known as The New Day.
The New Day!
My limited wrestling knowledge.
Yes.
Anyway.
They are invited to the Undertaker's mansion, and it is a choose-your-own-adventure where you follow them through the mansion and uncover the secrets of the Undertaker.
Okay.
It's a fun, quick romp through WWE, following the New Day as they take on the Undertaker. I had some fun with it, but it's also extremely short. I didn't have to basically go back and like hit a dead end. I just kind of knew what to do.
Yeah.
Which is both good and really, really bad from a story perspective, where if you're never going to hit a dead end, just tell it as a film and not as a choose-your-own adventure.
You would think,
But yeah, the New Day brings the power of positivity into the Undertaker's domain as they try and uncover his urn, famously carried by his the Undertaker's longtime assistant, Paul Bearer.
I get it.
Because that houses the power of the Undertaker, and if you combine the power of the Undertaker with the power of positivity, combined, they can be unstoppable.
Damn. Okay. You should get into wrestling promotion. Thank you.
This is my wrestling promotion.
Yeah, you have a knack for it.
I've been watching a lot during for the quarantine.
I can tell.
It was the only sports related entertainment I could get my hands on.
It's the closest thing.
Closest thing. So I still head into it for like a whole year.
I just played the show, so
same thing.
same exactly.
That's how you got dove head into baseball. I'm head into WWE with it. Anyways, it's fun. It's quick. Nothing too scary. It's also WWE acting, which is hit and miss at various times.
It's what you think it is.
It's exactly what you think it is. Yep. The New Day versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
This also follows Undertaker's kind of new role within the WWE, which is not live wrestling, but these taped matches.
Okay.
Because he did this in 2020 for WrestleMania called the Graveyard Match with AJ Styles, and provided one of the greatest quotes that we say in this household, which is, "You wanted this, AJ." As the Undertaker continuously beats AJ Styles and puts him in the grave.
Damn. Well,
but it's a fun.
So wrestling.
It's wrestling. It's what you know what you want.
Vibes. The New Day. If you're a fan of any of those things, hey, check it out.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
But there's also a second thing I watched on Netflix, which when I saw it, I realized I had the moment of, oh shit, did I forget that this was on? Had this been on and I had just not been watching Netflix for the past month?
Maybe.
No, I just happened to have this premonition of I should watch something on Netflix, which is why I watched Escape the Undertaker, because it's something quick and easy. But then I also saw the ad for Lock and Key Season 2, the thing I talked about last year that I really, really liked.
Yeah.
Because it was about the house with all the keys and the magic.
Yeah.
Kind of the young adult.
Yeah, I believe it's an adaptation of a young adult book series.
Yeah. And I liked Season 1. I thought it was the right twist of fantastical elements with growing up and new schools and high school shenanigans with a good twist at the end.
Okay.
Season 2. apparently they completely forgot everything that happened in season 1 and just used these magical keys willy-nilly all over the place.
No.
It's part of like, oh, we no longer fear the use of these keys.
Right.
We're trading them back and forth with everybody. We have the power. We know what we're doing here.
Now, is the plot or is the arc of this season about the abuse of this power?
No.
Okay.
Which is a big miss.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Instead, it's a trying to create a new key from the villain's perspective and how these keys get created, which I feel could have been summed up in 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But instead, they take a whole season to morph how keys are created. And the one thing I don't like doing in TV.
Yeah.
Relying on ye old history to retcon shit.
Yeah.
So, guess how far back this one goes?
Oh, geez. Well, they have literally access to anything. So I'm just going to toss out, I don't know, the 16th century.
Revolutionary War.
Oh, that's close.
Close enough.
Jeez.
The door for the magical key portal was discovered back in revolutionary times.
Of course it was.
Because of course it was.
Of course it was.
And like it kind of explores subtly how they created the keys back then and what was needed. So that way you know that there's precedent in today's time of how to create the keys. Not like it was like passed down from Yeon lore. What do we call it? No. It's called tribal knowledge, where it's all spoken word and not written down. Tribal knowledge.
Okay.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it that as like with like you have magic keys everywhere, and that's the one thing I don't buy.
Yeah.
You kind of missed the mark there.
Sounds like it. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah. There's also, I think, a total of 3 or 4 new keys introduced throughout this season.
Okay.
Whereas the first one, it was, new episode, new key. New episode, new key. I thought they would kind of like continue to do that, but I guess it's less exploring the house now and more when the keys are needed in order to move the plot along with season 2. That, hey, we just found a new key. Here we go.
So a little disappointing compared to the first season. They're just doing a little fast and loose with the rules, seems.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just not as structured as it used to be.
And I may just end up skipping season 3 altogether.
Well,
not based on the effort that was season 2.
Yeah.
Based on where they left season 2 and transitioned into like the last 10 minutes. So they set up season 3.
Right. It's not enough of a hook for it.
Oh, no. I'm going to spoil this because it is like the dumbest thing ever.
Okay. I'm ready.
So this is your warning. Skip about like 2 minutes if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Otherwise...
Spoiler for Lock and Key season 2.
Spoiler for the ending season 2.
Yeah.
Remember how I said it started with the Revolutionary War?
Yes.
Well, the person, the redcoat, who found the secret doorway to this portal, got infected with the demon from the portal.
Oh, there's demons in portals. Okay.
Yeah, it's how you become like a demon portal person. Exactly.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the redcoat gets summoned from 1776 to modern day 2021 via an echo portal.
Yeah.
Immediately kills the person who summoned him.
Oh.
And is now the new villain.
So
going into season 3.
Are they dealing with the fact that this man from the Revolutionary War times has no idea what the hell anything is anymore because it's the future?
Well, that's what season 3 will probably be.
I guess so. I guess
it's
like a disaster.
Yes.
That's real stupid. You're right. It's real stupid.
Also, like, he's skipping 200 years, 250 years almost of history just to still be, like, pine after these. Well, shit, no, because in the show, he doesn't even know that the keys exist. He's just from revolutionary times. So, unless, like, the demon in him knows of the keys, his existence is literally futile because at the time when he was like existed, the keys themselves did not exist. The Lock house did not exist. The Lock family did not really exist.
Okay.
So I don't know where they're going with this.
That's weird. That's weird. I mean, maybe the people who have read the books may already know about this.
It's a comic book.
Yeah, the comic books.
Graphic novel.
Maybe
whatever.
they already know this. Maybe this has been the way it always has been.
I don't know, but it's just a super hard left turn at Albuquerque to the middle of nowhere.
It sounds like a weird move. You're right.
Especially coming off of season 1, where it was, the villain really didn't die, which was like, okay, yeah, makes sense. But then you literally wrap up all those ends and kind of need to introduce a new person to keep it going. Like there's still an existential threat.
Yeah. It's nothing really.
Yeah.
Nothing going on. Well, that's disappointing.
It might have lost me there.
That sounds like it.
That being said, I'll probably binge watch season 3 in like a day, assuming it keeps my interest.
Because what else do we do in this life?
Yeah, because what else?
Speaking of what else, though, I just remembered I did actually watch something new on Netflix. I totally forgot about because it made that little bit impact on me.
What do we got?
I tried out the new animated Netflix show Inside Job.
Oh.
Yes, I watched the pilot for this.
Yes. Okay, so funny enough, after Lock and Key, that was the promo that played.
Recommendation. I'm not surprised because just like Lock and Key, there's also some stuff going on in Inside Job about secrets and possible controversy and conspiracies.
Well, isn't that like the whole premise that they work at a conspiracy?
Get to just now. I was gonna say, but the thing about Inside Job is that it's all true. Basically, the premise of this show is that all the conspiracy theories about the government being a puppet organization, New World Order, and ruled by aliens in robes and transforming lizard people senators, turns out it's all real and it's run by one company. And the lead character here, her name is Reagan. She is the daughter of one of the original bosses of this company, but the boss went crazy. And so she has taken his place in the company at about, I'm estimating her age about like late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
So she unfortunately is just as weird and wacky and kind of maniacal as her father. And so the story is more or less about her growing into the role and kind of dealing with mistreatment from upper management, also trying to keep all the conspiracy stuff on the low. That's basically the premise. So this comes from Shion Takeuchi, who is an artist who used to work on Gravity Falls, and of course, producer Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls. So to me, it exists in this exact middle, thematically and tonally, between Gravity Falls on this end and Rick and Morty on this end. Bear with me for a second.
Well, it's weird you say that because aren't Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls supposed to somehow connect?
Some people. There's a theory.
There's a theory.
It's not been supported by Hirsch.
An inside job.
Hirsch did work. Hirsch does have history working with Justin Roiland.
Yes.
So it does make sense that they would reference each other every once in a while. So yeah, that expanded universe expands again here because there does seem to be a link between the tone of the humor in Rick and Morty and the tone of humor in Gravity Falls, and this is that missing link that links the two of them. So here's where, that all sounds great, right? Like that pitch sounds like it would be pretty quality. It's quality.
Two shows that I really enjoy.
If you really enjoy quality stuff. The animation is real impressive for a Netflix show, even if I don't necessarily love the character designs here. Look-wise, it also seems to be a kind of even divide between the two. It airs a little closer to the Rick and Morty human designs, but it's not as grotesque. It's a little nicer, a little more rounded edges. But still, there's something weird about the way that the characters look in this that I don't love. However, backgrounds are great. There's a lot of great background work and artistry going into the sets here. And overall, it looks all right. But I don't love the tone of it. I don't love the humor of it. It seems like because it's kind of breaking even between those two kind of very adult and kind of more mysterious sensibilities, it doesn't feel like it belongs to either. And it ends up feeling kind of middling for me. I did not really love this pilot. I don't think the characters are that likable. Reagan is a very acerbic protagonist. She kind of, her whole character is that she kind of rubs people the wrong way and is very like domineering. Not great when you're trying to be endeared to your lead character. Doesn't do a good job of that immediately. Also, the way it kind of just dives into this premise of like all this shit is real, all these conspiracy theories is real, to me feels a little odd in the year of our Lord 2021, in which conspiracy theories have led to a lot of real rough shit coming from the far right and have led to stuff like QAnon and have led to some. So I get where it's coming from. It seems like a concept that may be older. And maybe that this person's maybe Shion has been working on this for a while, because she definitely feels like she's like into the conspiracy theory stuff, but on a very surface level, because funny level. Right. Kind of the way we dealt with conspiracy theories in like the 2000s, the 2010s, when it was like, oh X-Files. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, with like stuff like the X-Files, where it was really funny to be like, yeah, jet fuel can't melt steel beams, stuff like that, where it was jokes. It was just punchlines. Now those punchlines have a little bit of bite to it, because somebody out there actually believes this shit, because the internet has blown it all wide open. That being said, there are some genuinely laugh out loud gags here. This comedy writing is good in moments. And some of them are about the conspiracy theory stuff. There's even a jet fuel can't melt steel beams joke specifically that I laughed out loud about because it was really well timed and pretty good. So I guess what I'll say is I think it's quality. I think that there's some good work being done on this show. And I think that if you get invested in kind of the cliffhanger at the end of this first episode and you want to know what happens, there's enough of a plot thread going for like momentum going through that maybe some people will be like, all right, well, I have to watch the rest of this. It's a little long for an animated show, or at least it felt that way. I don't think it's 22. I think it's longer. Again, or it just felt like that. And it's very adult, just to note, even though Alex Hirsch, created more tolerance for Rick and Morty than I do at this age, at this point. And so if you might actually glom onto it more than I did.
I don't know, like the trailer they showed didn't glom onto me. Which is why after I like I said, they showed me the trailer right after I finished Lock and Key. So I was like,
watch the pilot. Watch the pilot. Give it a try. Because like I said, there are moments where I was like, all right, that's pretty good. Okay. But just the whole feeling of it was not something I want to spend more time with, is I think ultimately what I came to a conclusion about.
All right.
It is what it is. But I think it'll find its audience, and I think it'll be pretty good.
But you only watched the pilot, though.
I only watched the first episode, yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I watched.
All right.
So are you good to move on?
The winner of the pumpkin carving competition that I watched was the guy who used the chainsaws.
Of course it was.
Because of course it was. It was all set up for him to win.
Awesome.
But it's like,
you love to hear it.
It was also kind of a setup hey, you don't have to be specifically carving. You can use chainsaws and tools and power tools.
I saw a TikTok where somebody was using a power washer.
Yeah.
To carve a pumpkin. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. All right, let's move on into cancellations and renewals then.
All right, what am I no longer watching?
On AMC, you'll be no longer watching Happy Valley, as it's going to be canceled after its third season. HBO is bringing back Succession for another season for its fourth.
Super shocked about that. No.
I know, everybody saw that coming.
I saw that coming.
And Netflix is bringing back Elite for a sixth season. We have one death to get through this week. James Michael Tyler, 3 first names.
Yes.
Age 59, actor, working on Friends and Motel Blue, among other shows.
You know who this is?
No, I don't.
He is Gunther from Friends.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yes. Remember a couple of weeks ago we said that he had prostate cancer?
Oh, I guess. Oh, that's sad.
Yep. Time came.
All right. Well, that's our condolences to the family then. That's a rough one.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. And I'll toss this over to you. It's time to do our second half of the show, starting with music.
And we always start music with the Billboard, and we start the Billboard with the Hot 100. Pick up that phone.
Yeah, we called it.
We called it.
I mean, it was the easiest call of the century.
Well, yeah. Easier than dialing right down the center.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole 90s joke right there. Like over everyone's head.
Right.
Adele's Easy on Me. Number 1. on your Hot 100. Now we can see how long it gets.
I'm still laughing at your stupid collect call joke. No one will get that.
And yet you did.
I did.
Sometimes just for us.
Yeah, sometimes just for us. Anyway, sorry. Yes, easy on me, Adele. Your
number one single. We'll see how long it stays on.
I finally heard it.
Yeah?
It's fine. I don't know. It's weird. It just made no impact on me whatsoever. I was just like, this is an Adele song. That's literally the only thought that was going through my head. It's like, this is an Adele song.
It sounds like Adele.
I don't love the chorus of it. I just don't think it's that great. I don't know. It's fine.
It's going to be fun when the album comes out and it's the weakest song on the album.
Oh, yeah. I bet it will be, actually, because, yeah, it just did nothing for me.
All right. At 2, Stay by the Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber, dropping down
Stays
one spot.
In the top 5.
It stays in the top 5, but drops down from the number 1 spot. At 3, Industry Baby by Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow. At number 4, Fancy Like by Applebee's. And rounding out your top 5, Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran.
Yep.
Speaking of Ed Sheeran, we'll get to him a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
As for your Billboard 200, your albums chart, Punk by Young Thug is your number 1 album this week.
Dethroning
CLB by Drake. Certified Lover Boy.
Yes.
At 3, Faces by Mac Miller. 4, Music of the Spheres by Coldplay. And rounding out your top 5, Coming Back from the Dead. Let It Be by the Beatles.
Yes, that Let It Be. So if you're wondering why this is here, well, two notes about this top 5. One, real quick. Obviously, Faces by Mac Miller, a posthumous release.
Yes.
Number 5, and a note about Let It Be. So the reason why this is shot back up is it's in preparation for both the re-release, recently remastered re-release of Let It Be, which of course coincides with the Disney Plus series that will interpolate new and old footage of the recording sessions of the album Let It Be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're wondering why Let It Be is in the top 5, that's why.
I believe that film by Peter Jackson comes out. Is it next week or next?
I think it's the end of this week. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I didn't see it on Disney Plus this week, so it might be next week.
Coming Friday.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, maybe
next Friday or next Saturday, whenever we record.
Whenever we record.
Speaking of whenever we record, we have new releases.
Yes.
We have I Don't Live Here Anymore by The War on Drugs.
Yes.
Which is both accurate and terrifying.
Oh no.
Hushed and Grim by Mastodon. Ocean to Ocean by Tori Amos.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, We Need to Talk Now by Lily Konigsberg. The Million Things That Never Happened by Billy Bragg. The Path of the Clouds by Marissa Nadler. And your number 1 album next week.
Yeah.
Well, in 2 weeks, actually. By Ed Sheeran.
He means equals.
Equal sign.
An equal sign.
Equal sign. By Ed Sheeran. Equals.
Yeah.
Going along with his math albums, plus, minus, X, multiply, X, and divide.
Add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and now equals.
Yes. Which means his next album's going to be parentheses or exponent.
I think we made this joke last week too, but yes, he's going to run out of these symbols soon.
Yes.
I want ampersand. Does that count?
Oh shit, that reminds me.
Oh shit, what?
I gotta put that on here. Thank you for reminding me about ampersand.
Oh no, I forgot about ampersand.
Oh no, ampersand.
There is an ampersand.
Yes, we'll talk about ampersand in a little bit here.
Guys. Anyways.
Oh, it's gonna be fun writing. Anyways, we have so Ed Sheeran's new album comes out. You can go listen to it right now. Well, after the podcast. But yeah, Equals is out right now, and I'll have my thoughts on about that in a hot second here. Cool. But first, we have to get through some music news.
Yeah, light week, but couple semi-interesting things.
Yes. Well, we've been doing this podcast for about 300 weekly shows. If we keep doing this for another 10 years, we'll be nowhere near the Grand Ole Opry
as
it celebrates its 5,000th weekly show this weekend with a generation-spanning showcase.
Yeah.
The October 30th lineup will span generations with performers who made their first impact in the 1960s, like Bill Anderson, Jeannie Seeley, and Connie Smith, the 70s with the Gatlin Brothers, even some 80s act like Vince Gill and Garth Brooks. Yes, that Garth Brooks. And 90s with Trisha Yearwood and Terry Clark. And even some 2000s artists like Darius Rucker as a solo act.
Yeah. Hootie.
Yes, Hootie himself, no blowfish. And Chris Young. Yes.
Yes, that Chris Young.
Beatable favorite, Chris Young.
Favorites of being
and we
generous.
Like it. Okay. Household favorite, Chris Young. And hey, because we're in a new decade, 2010s, Chris Jansen?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he sings that one country song that no one likes.
I'll take your word for it. Anyways.
Quote, "It's not just generational, of course, either," says executive producer Dan Rogers. "What really makes the Opry tick is about giving people a little sample of as much as we can under the country umbrella." End quote. On the weekly show, perhaps more so than this superstar-filled special, it's a mix of musical styles. So you have Americana, some bluegrass, some comedy, classic country, contemporary country, and Western, all in one hopeful, tremendous show.
So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's a long time to be on air. So,
oh, yes.
Of course, this is not a total. That 5,000 number one is for televised performances.
Yes.
On a weekly basis, and is not the actual grand total of performances of the Grand Ole Opry, because that's a much bigger number.
Right. This is weekly shows.
But it just goes to show you the staying power that this program has had. I mean, country stars have been born born on this stage. Like, names have been made in the country universe by performances on the Grand Ole Opry. It's a tradition. It's a staple genre, and it's cool to see it keep going and into so many shows and touch so many generations and generations of people, and being able to be handed down family to family like that is pretty cool.
You know, when we hit 5,000 weekly shows, I hope someone says the exact same thing about us.
Just the tradition of the Media Boat podcast.
Yeah.
No, someday.
It's
like no one appreciated them in their first 5 years, but man, when that sixth one kept going, like it clicked, and all of a sudden,
once they hit that decade mark, and they're still 1,000 weekly shows shy,
and there's still no one was watching it, but they still kept doing it anyway.
And so they beat on, boats against the current, born ceaselessly into the past.
Yeah, you thought the Media Boat thing was a random ass name, but no, we knew.
All media.
Anyway. Let's move on to the actual big music story of the week.
Okay, so.
Even though I say big in quotes, because this isn't even that big of a deal.
No, because, I mean, the big news is, of course, Grand Ole Opry. Yeah. 5,000 weekly shows.
Sure.
But, like, big news incorporating all music genres is, of course, the AMAs.
American Music Awards.
Well, nominations were here. And, such to no one's surprise, Olivia Rodrigo and The Weeknd lead the nominees.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd.
Oh, did you notice that? When Rami Malek was on SNL for the second one, he did that motion with Ladies and Gentlemen.
You have to.
As a joke to Daniel Craig, because he was also there in the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd. Just the way he said it, so good.
Anyways, Olivia Rodrigo leads with 7 nominations, and The Weeknd with 6. The show's producers, MRC Live and Alternative and ABC Today, said last week. Bad Bunny, Doja Cat, and Giveon are close behind in nominations with 5 apiece. Olivia Rodrigo makes her AMA debut, scoring 7 nominations, including Artist of the Year and New Artist of the Year.
New and just
new
regular.
And recurring. 5-time AMA winner, The Weeknd, earned 6 nominations, including Artist of the Year, as well as Favorite Music Video and favorite pop song. Other Artist of the Year nominees include typical favorites Ariana Grande, BTS, Drake, and Taylor Swift.
I wouldn't be surprised if Olivia probably sweeps these. It seems like it's been her year. Also, the AMAs notably are a lot of the fan voting happens in this as opposed to the Grammys. So no secret cabal to steal things away from the weekend.
No,
so both of them I think will do well. I think Olivia, though, this will be her night. I would not be surprised with those being the nominees and the Artist of the Year. I think Olivia takes this. As much as I'd like Taylor to take this, it's just not going to happen.
It's also the AMAs, like you said. It is fan voting. So if the BTS army comes out in droves, who knows?
We'll see. It could happen.
But yeah, it does seem to be Olivia Rodrigo's year, especially Sour, basically dominating the charts and dominating everyone's earworms.
Yeah.
Well, I bring up earworms specifically because I've got some music thoughts.
All right. So we have two albums that both have symbols in them.
Yes. We'll start.
And not symbols.
No. And not
symbols.
Yeah, like Prince turning himself into a symbol.
Yes, that kind of symbol.
We start with Equals by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
What an earworm this is.
I mean, that's what his albums always have been. He's catchy songs.
Super catchy, super lovey, super poignant, and it's exactly what you think it is. Both good and bad. Especially coming off Divide, which was basically everywhere, which came off of Multiply, which was probably more everywhere than Divide. I don't want to say he's on a downslope here, but when you start at the top here, it's hard to build the mountain higher than you already are.
Now, are you established as an Ed Sheeran person? Have you liked his music in the past?
No, I like his singles.
Okay.
I'm not a huge album of Ed Sheeran fan, but when his beats come on, they're funky and they're earworms, especially those 80s synth vibes, and he's got the range to do acoustic as well, and he's a good artist. I know. Glad we picked him up off the streets.
Okay.
But it's exactly what you think it is. Both good and bad. If you like Ed Sheeran, it's more Ed Sheeran style. Right. It's hard for me to convince you to listen to this otherwise, because either at this point, this is fifth, sixth album. So you're either on board with Ed Sheeran and his style, or you're like, please stop, Ed Sheeran. I don't need any more of you.
Please stop. Please. Okay. So it's a mileage may vary, is what it sounds like.
Which, at this point, you already know what your mileage is with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
It's either more of what you like or not. I mean, he's found his niche. He's found his road.
All right.
I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. It's Ed Sheeran.
It's Ed Sheeran. It's all
you're going to hear this. You're going to hear his songs on pop radio.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing, is it's unavoidable at this point.
Yeah. That's the other point. It's like, you're eventually going to hear his songs, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that chorus was super catchy. Because, I mean, late newsflash here. He writes good, catchy hooks.
It's true.
His hooks are catchy. His choruses are gimmicky. They're earworms in your ear for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to say? It's Ed Sheeran, not necessarily at his best, but he doesn't need to be at his best to convince you that you secretly like Ed Sheeran's music.
I don't know if I could say that, but sure.
Oh, you can put an Ed Sheeran song and be like, yeah, okay, I'll bob to this. I'll wave to this. It's good.
Your mileage may vary. Let's leave it on that.
All right.
But you also listen to something that's been a little bit of a long time coming.
Oh, yes. So this album was supposed to arrive back in September.
Mm-hmm.
And then it arrived. Then it got shipped at the very last day of September to say it shipped by September in order to meet their deadline and not be sued by fans who literally bought this album back in March, saying that it'll ship to everyone by the end of September, in 3 months. So ampersand.
Yes, which of course is between
Heart and Soul.
Or heart, heart. You have heart, you have soul, now you have and.
Yes, or ampersand as I call it. Because that's the simple.
It's a little,
it's a little and.
So, okay, let's do a quick recap of how you felt about those two albums.
Oh, I loved Heart. It may be the best thing I've heard all year. I will definitely be talking about Heart at the end of the year here.
Right.
I enjoyed Soul. I thought it was a very unique kind of rhythm, kind of very classic Eric Church country album.
Okay.
And so you kind of combine them together. Now, what I may end up doing is just throwing all this together into one album, Heart and Soul, at the end of the year. Because ampersand, or and, let's call it and. So keep calling it ampersand. Even though I don't want to call it ampersand because it's a purple album, because it combines the red and the blue and the purple in the middle. And it's like this great visual mix of piece of like artistry harmony.
Yeah.
Also, like the albums of his faces are like both facing each other. So it's a short. It's not even the full album. It's an EP. Mm-hmm. There's like 3 songs on each side of this. It's also vinyl only, which is why it took so long for me to actually listen to this thing. But it's fun.
All right.
It's catchy. I didn't really enjoy side A. But damn, side B was bangers. Okay. This is Eric Church doing his experimental stuff, his hard rock stuff, his stuff that may not be for every fan. But if you're a fan of Eric Church, one, you probably got this album because it was, you had to sign up for be part of the church choir to get the album.
The church choir.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was like his fan club.
Yeah, they're called the church choir.
That's great. I love it.
Which means you're probably also going to his concert, like when he's in your town, because if you bought the album and you signed up for it, chances are you're a deep Eric Church fan. Yeah. You're a super fan. You exceed that of just liking his music into the super fan stratosphere. and it
delivers on that.
It delivers on that. Yeah.
Cool.
So if you're, I'm sure give it 5 years when the new streaming service comes out, or Eric Church is like, hey, we're not really selling this anymore. Let's just put it out for everyone else to hear. Then you'll get, or what I imagine that after he wins Album of the Year with this, that he'll just release the super deluxe Church and Soul double album, which has the Heart and Soul, Church and Soul. The Heart and Soul deluxe double album.
Yeah.
Which has these on there considered bonus tracks, but we all know it's its own separate album.
Yeah. Well, when that happens, hey, more people will get to hear it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have 1, buy the vinyl, and then 2, buy a record player to play the said vinyl.
Right. Yes. If you don't already have one. But yeah, no, that sounds really cool. So I'm glad that Eric Church fans, he delivered a good product this year, and it sounds like it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's real good stuff. Cool. It's also maybe one of his more poppy albums, but also one of his more rock and not as experimental as he was. Say, when we talked about his previous album 2 years ago, Desperate Man, which was a very 70s, 60s, 70s inspired rock album.
Right. Okay.
I'm Sounds really enjoying this one.
Great.
Which is why we got tickets to go see him.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll hear more at the end of the year.
Oh, yes, we will.
One.
Yes, we will. All right. We are zooming right along here.
That's awesome.
Did you listen to anything else?
No, kind of holding pattern this week. Nothing really special.
All right. Then let's talk about new video games.
Yeah.
As we get into here. And we have new releases.
We sure do.
All right. We start with...
Actually...
Do we have new releases?
These are last week.
I
did not update it. I forgot.
You did not
Let's pull it up.
All right. So as we pull up new video game releases,
I think I did everything else except for this. Click on over there, release dates for notable upcoming games. That's the list I usually
This one, release dates for notable.
And then we have to...
Oh, yeah, this one.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so here we are. So 26th. Yeah. So, big release this week is Super Mario... Or, sorry, not Super Mario. It's just Mario Party Superstars, which is the combination of all the previous Mario Party games into one.
Yep. So that's on Switch. It seems like people that love Mario Party are already into it. Let's scroll all the way down next week because that's all the rest of that we already talked about.
No, that's not. It's going reverse.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. If you go all the way back, it goes to the next week. See, coming soon.
Oh, okay.
Looks like all we have this week.
We have Bloodshore for literally everything.
Yeah.
If you got it, you can play it. We also have Just Dance 2022.
Same goes for that.
Same goes for that. And lastly, your big release of the week, Call of Duty: Vanguard for literally everything but the Switch.
All right, this is where we have to decide, are we going to try this? Because we both have GameFly. We could try to get it. But the question is do either of us really want to play another Call of Duty set in World War II?
I'm going to say no, because I'm going to be busy playing a different game, which I will get into real quickly here.
I don't think I might skip this year again. I skipped last year too, so I might skip 2 Call of Duties in a row, which I haven't done in a long time.
So by the trend here, does this mean the next one's going to be an advanced warfare and not a Black Ops?
There is a rumor that was going around that somebody said that they heard that the next one would be a sequel to Modern Warfare. So another game called Modern Warfare 2.
But
yes, I know. They made that mistake when they named the relatively new one Modern Warfare again. They're going to do it again. And because original Modern Warfare became outdated warfare. So yeah, you have to say
10 years.
So now it's going to be Modern Warfare 2007, Modern Warfare 2019. And you're also going to have to say Modern Warfare 2 2009 and Modern Warfare 2 2022.
So basically they're just following the blueprint of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah. Basically. It's ridiculous, but that's the rumor. I don't know if that's substantiated. We'll find out probably 6 months from now.
Yeah, okay.
So get ready for that.
I mean, if we want to not do that, we could. Also, there's some PlayStation games that aren't on this list that are coming out, but we'll talk about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that right now.
Right now, because PlayStation announced its PlayStation State of Play on Wednesday, which we alluded to last week, and hey, it happened. We watched it. Where's the math button?
Yeah. So we knew going into this would be just a third-party showcase, and they did say ahead of time it would only be 20 minutes. But man, that really was 20 minutes. It felt like a bunch of games that I guess are for someone, but it was so scattershot and so spread out that it didn't feel like it was very big news. It just felt like, hey, here's some games that are neat, I guess, but they're also coming out on stuff elsewhere. They're not PlayStation exclusives, and they're all mostly for next year.
You know what it really reminded me of? Our bits segment.
Yeah, it did. It felt like some bits.
A little bit of here, a little bit of there. Not really focused on any one specific either IP or studio, but even the IPs, even the studios, these weren't their big IPs. It was, here's something some people have been working on. Here's something that some people have been working on.
So yeah, let's get to it. What were these games?
We start with Deathverse: Let It Die, which was announced, a sequel to Grasshopper's game Let It Die.
Yes, Let It Die was a free-to-play, I believe, thing on PS4 and Xbox One. That was basically a deathmatchy kind of battle game. I never played it. Seemed neat, and especially if you like Grasshopper's games, they're the No More Heroes people, the Suda 51s bunch. So it's got some style, it's got some a neat look to it, and they're making a new one for the next gen console. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It is Battle Royale, right?
Is it a Battle Royale?
I'm not sure.
Related
it's 6 on 6.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah. We also have We Are OFK.
Yes.
The band announcing We Are OFK, the game.
Yes.
Which is a 5-episode series coming in 2022.
This, I thought personally, was the coolest thing in the entire show.
And not just because it was band related.
I mean, that helps. That helps a lot for me. But basically, the premise sounds really cool. So it's like a indie pop band kind of thing based in LA, and you play as them during these five episodes in a adventure game, Life is Strangey kind of setup, where you're interacting, having conversations with the bandmates. There's romantic options for you. There's text conversations that you're doing. Seems like there's some mini games related to playing the music videos. The music videos themselves are interactive, which, if you flash back, was something when I talked about my favorite game of 2018, Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yep.
how I thought it would be a really cool idea for somebody to make a game where you play interactive music videos. And hey, this might be it. So
someone listened to us and made it happen.
Maybe. I think it's a cool sounding idea, and having it be episodic is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how they do that price-wise. So yeah, that's coming next year, and I'll probably check that out.
So something we haven't said in a while, which is sometimes they make a game specifically for us.
Yeah, you know what? I think they may have made a game for me.
Hey.
Of course, I'll wait until I try it, but it sounds pretty cool.
Well, while you go and play that, I'll be off here playing on the Bug Snacks expansion, the Isle of Big Snacks.
Big Snacks.
Big Snacks.
All right, so that's free DLC.
Bunger.
Yes, big bungers.
Big bungers.
Deluxe bungers. Double bungers.
A double bunger deluxe with cheese?
Yeah, you said it. Exactly. So that's exciting?
Yeah, that's announced for 2022. And a free content update. That's right. If you have the if you're one of the lucky ones, well, not lucky ones, but if you bought the PS5 PlayStation Plus version of Bug Snacks, you have access to the expansion when it comes out.
Yeah, this is just the same kind of transaction. So if you bought Bug Snacks, though, this will be free to you as well.
Yes.
It's cool.
It's cool. I'm just saying that you could have gotten both for free through PlayStation Plus. Yes.
It's very cool.
All right. There's also a new trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's, Security Breach.
It looks like Five Nights at Freddy's game just in PlayStation 5 quality graphics. It's literally all this one is.
And that's due at the end of the year, December 16th, which is just past the cutoff date that we set for ourselves. So even if we were going to play it, it wouldn't make any lists.
No, and honestly, it's fine. You know what you're getting into with this.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's.
It looks like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yep. We also have Death's Door coming to PlayStation on November 23rd.
That is a roguelike that is already debuted on PC and Game Pass on Xbox. It's gotten pretty good reviews, though. It seems like people who like those kinds of roguelikes, so maybe not you, would enjoy it. You play as a little raven, which is also very cute.
Yeah. There's also Kart Riders: Drift announced for 2022.
Guess what kind of game that is?
It's a mobile game.
Well, no, it's a kart racing game. Yeah, it just seems super generic kart racing game. I don't know who this is for, but hey, it exists.
I don't know. It follows in the footsteps of Mod Racers.
Yeah, it did remind me of Bod Nation Racers.
Racers.
That's a callback. Jeez, I thought about that game in a long time.
You want to go callback here? How about King of Fighters 15?
There you go.
In beta.
Yes.
Beta opens in mid-November for a release date probably 2022.
And they announced some new characters and showed off some of it. And I mean, those games are pretty. Those games always look really, really pretty. They got that cool engine that is 3D, but it emulates 2D kind of look. It still looks beautiful. Fans of the King of Fighters series will be excited about this one and get to try the beta.
Yep. We also have First Class Trouble announced for November 2nd. This is going to be your PS Plus free game of the month.
Yep.
And it's Among Us?
It's Among Us. I don't know if you
I watched it.
Oh my god.
It's like this is just Among Us.
It's just Among Us. And they didn't even try to pretend it wasn't Among Us. So it's a different look. It's in full 3D and it's kind of got a more humanoid characters walking around what appeared to be a mansion or something as its kind of vibe.
Right.
But they had a couple of the developers talk through the game and they were joking and stuff, but really what they were breaking down is just Among Us.
Yeah.
And everybody in the chat, I was looking at the chat, was just Among Us, Among Us, Among Us. Because it's you can't make a game that's just Among Us. I mean, we just went through this with Fortnite, right? They introduced that new mode that was just Among Us.
Yep.
And even then when Fortnite people finally said, also credit to Among Us for inspiring this mode, the Among Us developers were finally well, thank you. At least you said something. At least they
now
we're in this again, just a week later, where another company is doing Among Us. It's bizarre, and I don't think that this is going to make any waves because people are just going to be well, I already have Among Us.
Well, see, they're gonna say it's not Among Us because it's not set in space,
right?
And you're dealing with robots against people.
But the gameplay, what they describe as the moment-to-moment thing you do, it's just Among Us.
It's Among Us with extra steps.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why this exists. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, I really don't know who this is for, but
yeah, who knows?
We'll get it for free
if you're a PlayStation Plus person. So there you go.
Yeah. We also got the announcement of Star Ocean, the Divine Force, for 2022.
As a PlayStation kid, did you play a Star Ocean game ever?
I was supposed to.
Okay. What's that mean?
Oh, because I finished playing Kingdom Hearts, so then I was looking between Star Ocean and Rogue Pirate, something like that.
Huh. Okay.
So I went with the Rogue. Exactly, it was super forgivable because
I don't remember that.
It's kind of like the same JRPG style, like space adventure, planet hopping.
Okay. All right. Well, those who did will be excited for this because there hasn't been a Star Ocean game in a long time. It was a storied series. I believe Tri-Ace has their roots in
Rogue Galaxy. That's what it was.
Rogue Galaxy. Yeah. Okay, I do vaguely remember that. I do.
Yeah, okay. PS2 game Rogue Galaxy.
Rogue Galaxy. I remember that box art.
Yep, that's what.
Yeah, so
you can see the Kingdom Hearts kind of inspired.
Yeah. Whereas Rogue Galaxy has been lost to time.
Yes.
Star Ocean will continue, and this new one, it looks like Star Ocean game, like the super anime space travel, if that classic RPG with real time combat. So if that sounds good to you, hey, this will be out next year.
Yeah. And lastly, officially announced during the State of Play, is the new trailer for Little Devil Inside.
Yeah, what is this? You seem to know seem like you're acting like you know what this is.
Let me remind myself what exactly this is.
Because honestly, when they were running the trailer, I like, this looks boring. I don't really get what this is.
I don't know. I just like the art style.
Okay. Sure.
That's right.
I remember weird like little people, and I remember train.
Yeah, the train's kind of like super adventurous, and like you have your party in there, kind of a bit like Octopus Traveler.
Right.
But I just like the art style in it.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me a little bit about Journey.
Oh, yeah,
kind of.
Sure. A lot of games trying to listen Journey lately.
Yes.
Okay, so
because people who grew up playing Journey are now the ones.
Jesus Christ, grew up playing Journey. The game's from 2006.
Yeah. Are now the ones making games.
Oh, no. Anyway, I don't need to hear that. So, so overall.
I'm sorry, but like that makes sense. If you played Journey when you were 10 in 2006, now you're 24, 25?
Don't tell me this. Anyways. That was the show.
And that's when we make ourselves feel old there.
Yes. So that was the PlayStation State of Play. Not so great, but there are a couple other Sony announcements after the show was over.
Yeah, not a part of the State of Play, but came out in blog posts. The first one, not officially a post, but people noticed that in some of the Steam PC ports, that the developer behind those ports name changed from a specific studio,
Sony
Interactive, to PlayStation PC. Meaning that, as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, when some of those port studios came into the fold of PlayStation Studios, turns out they just spun them off into their own port studio.
Yeah, it seems like what they did was they grouped those companies together and any of the staff that were working on these ports and just put one banner, PlayStation PC, above them.
Yep.
So that just means that it's just a really easy way of saying like, oh, the PlayStation PC team is taking care of this. And then they'll be credited going forward. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Some people are freaking out that PlayStation was actually building a PC because they saw the headline only and didn't read the article.
Like, no.
No,
that'd be a weird thing. But
yes. Also, more of an official announcement on the PlayStation blog, but also not said during the state of play, is that if you have access to an iPhone, good news, you probably have access to Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
And if those two things are true, and you have the PS5, note only the PS5, you can put your Apple Music on the PS5. You can stream directly to it.
Real quick note about this. It doesn't seem like they're stopping at PlayStation 5. It seems like later people dug up a story that seems like there's evidence that they're working with Microsoft to get this on Xbox Series X as well. But that has not happened so far. But yeah, this is good. It expands the PlayStation Music section of the PlayStation interface, which has already included Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be a further option.
Well, to be fair, Spotify's dates back to the PS3.
Right, yes. But yeah, both the PS4 specifically had the PlayStation Music branding for it. Right. And so, yeah, and this will just be another option. So if you have this subscription, you can add it on. So that means both Apple TV Plus and Apple Music are now on PlayStation 5, which is pretty cool.
Correct. It may actually inspire me to go back to Madden because I hate their soundtrack, but love playing my own music.
Yeah, if they let you.
What do you mean?
Certain games lock it out, so you'd have to make sure Madden is like cool with it. I bet Madden would be.
That's boo. Yeah, that's boo. But yeah, Apple Music, PS5 only, no PS4.
Yes. For now.
Unsure if they'll go backwards because as PlayStation moves forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it uses so much bandwidth that it wouldn't be possible. Like, that would be weird.
Right, but it's more of like updating and now last gen tech.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Lastly, for video game news, we have some quick bits here.
Yeah.
Game bits.
Just a smattering of things that I felt like we would be remiss if we didn't mention.
Yep. Including the Warner Brothers multiverse platform Fighters being leaked. And more or less confirming rumors that this game exists.
All right. So, did we talk about this at all last week?
No.
Because it was still a rumor last week.
It's still a rumor. So coming off the heels of Nickelodeon Brawl Stars, we have another platform fighting game.
Okay, so this began as a rumor. Over the course of last week, it kind of got more and more firmed up. The original rumor was basically like Warner Brothers is making a platform fighter a la Super Smash Brothers or Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl called Multiverses. Get it?
Yes.
And would include a lot of their franchise like characters that they own. Some names that were mentioned in the original rumor included like Johnny Bravo, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
So Space Jam 2.
More or less. I'll get to that in a moment, actually. It seemed like that mix between, okay, this is so stupid, it has to be fake. Gandalf is going to fight Rick and Morty. Like, what is this?
Right.
But there was just enough heat to it where some people were like, actually, I think this is real, guys. We'll give it a week. And sure enough, some people who are known for confirming rumors were able to say, actually, no, this all leaked, guys. So the one thing in the original rumor that didn't actually come true is that people thought that the Mortal Kombat people, NetherRealm, were working on this. That ends up not being the case. NetherRealm is not the developer for this. In fact, it seems like it's from people who have seen it, say that the actual game is kind of cheap looking and does not look that good. So take that as you will, but it seems like this will come out. It will be called Multiverses, and it will involve Looney Tunes characters, Cartoon Network characters, Mad Max, like
Adventure Time,
like all sorts of weird ass, like, and with the possibility of more characters coming through DLC later.
Mm-hmm.
And DC people are in this, Superman potentially. Like, it's a weird idea, but it's not surprising considering two things, right? It's a confluence of Super Smash Brothers news made huge ripples every time it happened on the internet.
Yep.
Character announcements and reveals were huge on social media platforms.
Well, only because they wanted Sora and Smash.
Yes, but you know that Warner Brothers was watching that, right? You know that they know it's like, oh, this huge spike in numbers, we could do that too. Combined with the fact that media conglomerates right now are obsessed with the multiverse or the
crossover.
metaverse. Just look at Facebook. They're pivoting their entire company to a metaverse concept, even changing their corporate name to Meta.
It's so meta.
Is it? Is it?
No.
And so yeah, so it's a perfect confluence of those two worlds. If you asked me in 1999 if I thought that Super Smash Brothers would be the wave of the future of media, I would not have believed you. And yet Nintendo inadvertently created, or at least help advance a thing that has now become the thing that every media conglomerate wants to do with their properties.
More recently, I'd say Avengers did that in 2012.
I definitely added to that. It's just...
It said that these... Well, I feel like Avengers basically said these standalone properties no longer need to be standalone. We can connect them. And to which people, when they said that, pointed to Smash Brothers because they've been doing it for 10 years, 15 years prior.
So it's kind of a confluence of all sorts of things that are happening in media right now. And even if it sucks, it's just a sign of the times. It's just, this is what's going to happen. And it's a really, really bleak future. So that's multiverses.
No release date. Nothing confirmed.
No announcement proper.
No announcement, but
so we'll see.
It's too good to.
It seems like it seems like all the stuff leaked out too much for it to not be real.
Yep. Speaking of things no longer being real, BlizzCon officially canceled and will be reimagined.
I mean, honestly, do you blame them after a year of Activision Blizzard as a corporation being called out and sued? And having people leave the company in masses and being exited and been kicked from the company in some cases, combined with the fact that the general public's distaste for Blizzard seems to grow with every release, it just didn't make sense to have a fan event. Oh, on top of the fact that there's a pandemic still.
Well, see, I thought the hate started back in 2016.
Oh yeah, it's been
17 when they took the prize winning away from the guys who mentioned Taiwan as a country.
It's just been growing into a snowball that's just getting bigger and bigger as the years have gone on. So no, I don't blame them for kind of wanting to rethink the whole thing. So they did say that there may be some product announcements around the time that BlizzCon would have happened. But what's not happening is any sort of online or real person fan community get together. Yeah.
Man, it's been an amazing 10 years to watch Blizzard as a company basically rise to the merger and then fall ever since.
It's just brutal, but hey, this will give them a chance to really think about, well, if we want to do something about our fans, we need to cater to the fans and give them something to be excited about. And right now, they just don't have anything.
Nothing's exciting. What do you mean? Overwatch 2?
Where is it?
Half
the creative leads left the company. What are they going to do with that thing?
They announced it.
Yeah, they announced it, but
they announced it 4 years ago now.
Yeah, God. I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing.
All right.
We'll see.
I don't know. But what is a thing, and that came out for better or for worse, Nintendo Switch Online expansion.
Yes.
The N64 games have come out to middling to terrible reviews, including choppy frame rates and unremappable controls.
So all right, on the tail of everybody complaining that the $50 price point was too high, not only Nintendo make everybody pay that much, but they also delivered a substandard product, it appears. Seems like people who are comparing the N64 emulation to the virtual console emulation of the N64 games on the Wii U are saying that's even a downgrade from that.
Oof.
Apparently, games not only have choppy frame rates. I saw one clip of Ocarina of Time literally getting so framey that it crashed. And unremappable controls with the C buttons not being mapped to the second stick as you would imagine they would, and instead being mapped to 2 buttons on the diamond control up here, and then the other 2
you mean the plus
mapped to no. You know how there's the diamond XY?
Yeah.
2 of the C buttons are mapped to XY by default, and then the other 2 I think are the stick. And I'm just like, what?
Why?
And then there's something you can do. You can hold down the ZR trigger, and then all of them are the C buttons.
But that makes no sense. Whatever.
It's a disaster of an idea, and you can't remap them per game.
Is this why they want you to buy the new controller then?
Yeah, it's like you basically have to buy the N64 controller to have a true experience. On top of that, that's not even the worst thing. There are certain games.
Well, wait, there's worse?
Yes, there's worse. The thing that I think most people are upset about is that they did not emulate the compatibility with controller pack saves. If you were an N64 kid, which I know you weren't, but I was, the controller pack was a peripheral that plugged into the bottom of the N64 that was a memory card, essentially. Just like the PlayStation memory card, it would save status. Generally, most games on the N64 had battery backup in the cartridge itself and had saves to the cartridge. You didn't need it. But a lot of third-party games and even some Nintendo games use the controller pack to save specific things. One of the third-party games that's offered in this is the game Winback, is 100% reliant on controller pack saves. It did not have battery backup in the original cartridge. So if you try to save in the game, just like Winback tells you to, it'll say no controller pack detected. They did not emulate the controller pack saves. There are save states, just like the Super NES and NES games, but those are one-time use. So there's no permanent saves that you can go back to in Winback.
But isn't part of like the whole like Switch Online emulation through like NES and the SNES that you can save anywhere at any point?
That's what I'm saying. Those are the save states, but they're one-time use.
Right.
So when you use it, it goes away. So basically, someone is saying is like, oh, if you beat the game, want to have a save that's you beat the game, and also want to start a new game.
You can't do that.
You can't do that
unless you're on a separate profile,
right?
With a separate online account.
The other thing that this allows is games that usually have battery backup saves that have special features that are controller pack based won't work. Mario Kart 64, for instance. You can save your progress in the Grand Prix. You can save your unlocks if you unlock the mirror mode. But saves for ghost data were memory pack required, controller pack required. You could not save ghosts. And if you haven't played Mario Kart, ghosts are your best times in
I played Crash Team Racing.
Right, exactly. Is your best times.
That's saved to the disc in the memory card.
In the memory card. So no, you can't save ghosts in Mario Kart 64 on the Switch because it does not have support for that.
Did someone not realize this? Is there no upper management saying, hey, this thing had this when I was a kid, it'll break?
It's unbelievable that they released this thing with the higher price tag and didn't deliver the basics of it. The basic expectations of having an N64 game run on your system. It's obnoxious. I hope that Nintendo hears all of this and fixes it. By the way, from what I've heard about the Genesis games is that they play fine. So if you're getting this for the Genesis games...
Oh, thank God the Genesis games are fine.
But it seems like the thing that they were really selling this on, the N64 stuff, is just so subpar that it seems like most people are not having a good time with it. So... be as it may, if that sounds like you still want to try playing, Ocarina of Time on your Switch, you can, but generally it seems like people are not having a good time.
Well, it's funny that you bring up being able to save mid-game.
Yeah.
Because our final game bit is about a game that didn't make you do that beforehand. Returnal.
Yes.
Finally, in a recent update, gets mid-save game updates.
Yeah, it's a one-time use thing, similar to a save state, but it does allow you to completely turn off the console and turn it back on and play where you left off in your run.
Right.
That's important. It didn't do that before. Will this change your opinion of Returnal?
No, because I can't return back to it after I die.
Yeah.
I go back through the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm sure some people will appreciate this change. I think it will make a Returnal fit a little bit better in some people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think, we had our time with the game and bounced off of it. And so it just didn't click for us. But there's a lot of people who love this thing.
Well, the people who like the challenge, like the Dark Souls runs and the Demon Souls.
There's a lot of element to that, too.
Yeah. All right, we done?
I think that's it for the
Any other video game news?
I think
that's all I got, too. All right.
Cool. All right.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about some video games then, shall we?
You played some recent releases.
Yeah, some October releases. I'll start with the Switch game that I played that I didn't play with myself. Played with my wife.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because we went and got together.
Yeah.
And got married.
Yes.
Had a Switch. Yes, because that's what you do.
To it. Got it. Yes, you have to.
That's what you do when you get married.
Yeah, you have to have game consoles. That's
yep.
What you do.
And we played WarioWare. Get it together.
All right.
So, I gameflied this because she said that she really liked WarioWare games growing up.
Cool.
I never playing Wario Nintendo console.
They're
Wario
fun as
game.
shit. It's one of my favorite franchises.
So I got it.
Yeah.
I figured, hey, something that the both of us can play.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
All right. Okay, so here's the thing.
So I'm playing the game, and then 10 seconds go by, the game goes away. And then it's like, here's another one. Like, okay, I think I understand what I'm doing here.
Uh-huh.
Then 10 seconds goes by, it's like, okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
Here's another one. It's like, okay, I know what I'm doing here. I think I can do this. I'm just about to do it. Nope, sorry, time's up. Throw it away. New game.
What you're describing is the entire pitch of WarioWare. It always has been that.
I didn't know that.
The first game was called WarioWare Mega Micro Games because that's what these are. They're not mini games. They're micro games. They're about 10 seconds each, and you have to adapt to them extremely quickly or else you will fail them. The idea is that they come after you rapid fire, and the more you play them, the repetition means you're learning what you're supposed to do in them, and you get better at them.
But by the time I realized what I was supposed to be doing, it's saying, nope,
yep.
we're changing this on you. We're changing the location, and we're changing the character.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's chaos.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the thing. The charm of the WarioWare series has always been is that the stuff comes at you so fast and furious. You're just like, what the hell was that? And it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be like, oh, that's hilarious that I just had to pick this nose for a second, and then I was done, and now I have to clear. Then this lady is dropping a big anime tear, and I have to avoid it. Oh, and now this shoe is gonna stomp on my guy, and I have to move my guy over. That's WarioWare. That's the essence of WarioWare. Is you're constantly seeing new shit. It's hilarious. You don't know what's happening. And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, now I know what's happening, and I want to be challenged by doing it even faster.
Oh, it does that for you, though, because after you go halfway through, it says, now let's speed it up.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, but I just got used to it, and now you're thinking it'd be faster?
So here's the one thing I will say about this as a kind of a follow-up to that is...
So maybe I should have had a basis of what WarioWare is before I actually got this thing?
Maybe, because the key difference between the previous WarioWares and this game is actually a pretty big one. Previous WarioWares, it was just button inputs to beat the mini games. Here, you take control of characters, and you have to. The character itself solves the micro game.
Wait, was that not a concept before?
No, this is the first game. The whole pitch of Get It Together is that for the first time, you are directly controlling Wario or whoever you play as.
I thought that was standard.
No, that's new. That is the new concept. And having the characters do different abilities to solve it, also new for Get It Together. Previous WarioWare games, it was a flat plane. You just been in basically not knowing anything. You would have to figure out what buttons to press because the buttons would do something. For example,
this sounds terrible.
One micro game is a pole is being dropped from the top of the screen, right? You have a hand right here, and the hand is open. So what do you think you have to do in that mini game? Because the pole is going to drop. Yes. Well, so what button do you think you have to push?
I don't know. A.
Yes.
X. Yeah.
So the game, literally the micro game is just pole drops, press A in time before it drops.
Right.
Yeah, that's micro. That's the first game. Is essentially all the games are like that, where it's very simple. You figure out in a second, okay, does this use the buttons? Does this use the stick? What am I doing? Boom. That's WarioWare. So this adds more complication to that.
By moving, by being able to move.
And then, of course...
But it's still in 10-second spurts and random chaos.
So, that's always been the case. So, I think that...
I wish I knew that going into it because it was confusing.
You probably should have done any research.
No, my research is, hey, it has 2 Switch controllers. It's a 2-player game. I should get this because it's a 2-player game. And I can play it with people. How's that not the pitch? This is the consequence of growing up not in the Nintendo household and not playing any previous WarioWare game at all.
Yeah. I mean, I would say if you can go back to the first one, it's the best introduction to the series.
Okay.
What I would also recommend is if you know anybody who has a GameCube or a Wii, and if you want a multiplayer experience, there is a GameCube game called WarioWare Mega Party Games that adapts all of the games from the original Game Boy Advance game into a multiplayer format.
Okay.
That's probably the best intro, because then you can play with friends and you can kind of get an idea of how the simple version of the original game was. There's also Touch for the DS, which uses stylus controls, and all the mini games are designed along that. And then there's Twisted for the Game Boy Advance, which uses a motion control thing. If you want all of them, if you want a collection of anything that's come in the past, WarioWare Gold for the 3DS is a collection that came out a couple years ago that collects all of those, so that way you can see it all in one. So you should go back and check out some previous.
I feel like this is like blank history that's just opened up to me.
Yes, you need to know, because if you came into this not knowing what the hell was happening, that's probably why. It's because you hadn't had that foundation based on it. But yeah, interesting to hear from somebody who has not played a WarioWare game, see what WarioWare is for the first time.
I mean, funny. I guess it's like listening to Ed Sheeran's Equal, not having to listen to anything other than Ed before that.
Maybe kind of like that. I don't know. But that's not the game you really want to talk about.
No, that's not the game I really want to talk about. But real quickly, even though it was chaotic, it was chaotic good. Yeah, I like the chaotic.
That's the thing about
it. I liked that I was able to figure it out and move, and the quick reaction. I mean, it did end up failing because I was playing 2-player. So if one person fails, you both fail. You don't get the, but you only get 1 point instead of the 2 points. So it's fun, chaotic, but still chaotic nonetheless.
Yeah,
which would have been helpful to know in the first place.
I thought you knew.
No.
Anyway, okay, let's talk about the other game real quick.
I thought it was like a platformer like Mario.
Yeah, I'm running out of time, so let's talk about the last game here.
All right, last game here. I'll be quick because I've only gone through basically what was the first level and a half, and we'll probably play more over the course of the next week to get more into the story and more opening up into upgrading and changing costumes and doing stuff. I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy from Square Enix, but not Crystal Dynamics.
Yes, it's key.
It's key because if you played, like I did, Marvel's Avengers from Crystal Dynamics, may have left a bad taste in your mouth, as it was very mission-based and it felt like the stories itself were kind of disjointed, and you can do any separate mission, but the missions themselves were kind of self-contained, and the actual narrative was loose and unfulfilled, especially since its release put out, albeit free, expansion stories, most recently being the War for Wakanda and introduction of Black Panther. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy video game, however, is its own self-contained story. You don't have, let me see here. So far, I've only been able to play as Peter Quill. I'm pretty sure I've read that you don't play as anyone else, but they are in your party and they have different abilities that you can use. Okay. It's more story narrative driven, which I enjoy a lot more than I did the Avengers game. And the interactions that you have as the captain with the other Guardians kind of influences the other main story points.
Okay.
There was one point where I was given the option of having Drax throw Rocket across a gorge to hit the panel on the other side, or try and find another way around. Well, I decided to see what would happen if I threw Rocket over, and sure enough, Drax threw Rocket over the gorge to the other side. What ended up happening was that Rocket lost morale leadership in me. And it says that like Rocket's like leader, what is it? Like companionship is dropped or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wonder if that's gonna kick me and bite me in the ass later.
Yeah.
There's also points where you have to make a choice within, like, do you go with plan A or plan B? Do you follow this person's suggestion or someone else's suggestion? Do you follow Drax's obscure suggestion, or do you follow Groot's suggestion of
I am
peace?
Groot?
Yes.
That's all he can suggest.
Yeah, but it's funny, and it helps influence the story.
Yeah.
Albeit somewhat minor, but at certain points it does become major.
That's cool.
Also, I love the interaction. I love the music. I love the dialogue between them. If all you're coming from the basis here is the films and not the comic book series, you're not missing a beat here. Mm-hmm. It has that kind of James Gunn humor in it.
From the first trailer they showed, it seemed like that's the tone they're going for. It's like, hey, you like those movies? We're going to make a game that's like those movies.
And it's very much like those movies. I also like that the costumes from those films are scattered throughout the game. You just have to go and find them.
How's the combat?
Simple.
Okay.
But interactive to where you can either shoot, as Peter Quill, can either shoot people or you can punch people.
Okay.
But because all the other 4 Guardians are on your team, you can have them do special things in combat. Like Groot will have them bog down the enemies with his plants so they won't move anywhere. Rocket will throw grenades everywhere at a widespread area blast. Drax will super punch them. And then Gamora will slice and dice with her swords.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then even you as Peter Quill have the ability to fly and shoot, to dodge enemies and shoot at the same time. It's fun. I'm just getting into the level up system as well as upgrading my armor and packs and stuff with the different stuff scattered around the world. I think that might be the thing that separates us from the Avengers game, which is while Avengers was based on Earth and stuff that we have a familiarity with, the Guardians game is based in space, where literally anything can be on purpose. So rather than taking something that we know, like, oh, this isn't like how a street or building or flipping cards are supposed to be. It's like, oh, foliage and explosion and monsters, and like let the imagination run wild, because if you don't know it's a mistake, it's done on purpose then.
Okay. You having a good time with it then?
Yeah. I like the humor. I like the fast paced. That's what I was saying before, is that even when it's not a specific story beat, they're always talking to each other, and even like talking out of the speaker of the PlayStation.
Oh, that's fun.
The PS5 as well.
Controller.
And then you can influence it by like either like provoking or siding with one person or another.
Right.
Like if 2 people are bickering, you can be like, oh, like side with this person or side with that person, or calm your team, or like provoke them, or like get them back on track, or like make a joke to calm the divide.
It's a neat idea. It really pairs the thing that everybody likes about the Guardians of the Galaxy is that they are just like a bunch of people hanging out mostly, and
and
talking and quipping with each other, and it makes that matter in the actual game. It's a really cool concept, and I guess we'll find out if it works through the whole game or not, because you've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, I've only scratched the surface. I've only gone through 2 chapters. Don't know how long the game is, but through those 2, I'm having a fun time with it.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it's good, because I feel like those trailers were very divisive. People were either like, man, that looks like the movies, it looks cool, or this is weird, they're not like they don't look like they're in like the people in the movies, and also they seem to talk a lot. That's been the main criticism I've heard, is a lot of people don't like the Star-Lord's voice in this. They think that he's annoying. It doesn't sound like you came to that conclusion.
No, it sounds like, I don't want to say generic leader, but generic leader, which, you know, as the leader of the Guardians, you're supposed to have the neutral, calming voice. All sides can talk to you.
Okay.
I've
heard it described as a pop punk lead singer whine.
Fun. But that is one thing that it is in each character's design, is that it does feel like everyone's specifically designed like an 80s pop punk band.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that may be where they're getting it from.
They're going for.
But because you can change the costumes on everybody, you don't have to keep with that pop punk kind of aesthetic.
All right. Well,
I'm having fun with it.
Good. So we'll probably hear more about it.
Yep. This is also my first time dealing with the free PS5 upgrade from a PS4 disc on the PS5.
Yeah.
So how that worked was I just put the disc in, and then it immediately prompted that said, hey, you can play the game regular as a PS4 game from the disc. You can copy it to the system as a PS4, so it'll run faster on the SSD.
Yeah.
Or you can download the free PS5 upgrade and play the PS5 digital version, so long as you have the PS4 disc in, which has the access key.
Yes.
So I did that. So I'm playing off the PS5 version, and it looks great.
Cool.
I like everything that's going on with it right now.
That's awesome.
And I like how easy that was. Also, it gives you options, too. I like that as much. So overall, I'm having very positive vibes with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll talk about it more once I actually beat the game, because I'm just getting into the leveling up system of leveling up the gear and the visor and like my shield and stuff, as well as the different skill points. I'm still like low level, but as I'll play more, the story will unfold, and I'll have more to say about it once I beat it. And unlike other games, this is probably a game I will end up beating, and I don't know, I may actually just end up like having this on hand and buying it because it may be that good.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Well, very cool.
And hey, even though we were ahead of the time, like going into music.
We lagged a little bit in that last half, but there was a lot to talk about.
Oh, yes.
But that will do it. We'll wrap up here because that will do it for the Media Boat Podcast this week. We'll be back next week in a post-Halloween haze for the next episode for you. We may not be live for that. We'll let you all know if that's going to be the case. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you for watching this week. Here's our plugs. You can go to youtube.com, search for Media Boat Podcast, find our page where all our archives are for our live shows, as well as videos of older shows in the past. Just like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do to interact with us there. We appreciate it. You can listen to the audio version of the podcast on podcast services such as Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there. Just search Media Boat Podcast. Social media networks, we're on Twitter at Media Boat Cast is our handle there. Facebook, search Media Boat Podcast to find our page. You can find us MediaBoatPodcast.com, where we archive our shows there as well. And last but not least, if you have questions, comments, feedback, anything you want to say to us, email us directly at MediaBoatPodcast.com. Or wait,
MediaBoatPodcast at
gmail.com. Sorry. That's the email address. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week for another show. In the meantime, have a spooky Halloween.
Yes, enjoy the rest of October because we'll be in November next time you hear us.
Indeed. All right.
See ya. Bye.
Hey! Yeah, I didn't think I was in a rush.
Well, okay, we're going. End the stream.
Yeah, so I think what I